Hi everybody, today we are going to present you an interesting topic, which is the strategies for a TOEFL reading section. I would like to start off by saying and defining what TOEFL means. TOEFL stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language. And to start off, I want to present you some principles. And those basic principles are this. The first one is it's internal. Let's remember that in the TOEFL, all the answers to all the questions are found in the passage. You are not required to analyze, you are not required to give your interpretation. Rather than that, what you have to do is to find the answer to the question or infer according to what is in the passage. So what you have to keep in mind is that all question has their answer in the passage. Now let's move to the second principle, which is the two-pass system. In the TOEFL reading section, there are many questions that are very difficult. Some of them are very easy. So what you have to do first is try to make the easiest, and later try to make the difficult ones. Now let's move to the other principle, which is the process of elimination. And I think this is the most important one. Why? Because since I have already told you, the questions are very difficult sometimes, and some of them are easy. So what you have to do with the process of elimination, and we will call it POE from now on, what you have to do is to try to eliminate as many answer choices as possible. Why? Because it will increase your odds of getting the correct question right. Now, there are many things that we can do about wrong answers. For example, wrong answers fall into one of the following categories. I'm going to give you some tips for you to know which can be wrong answer. For example, if you find that in the answer choices information that is not mentioned in the passage, you can read of that. Also, many wrong answers have extreme language. String language such as always, all, impossible, must, and never. So when you find this type of language or words in the choices, you have to get rid of that too. And also we have right answer, wrong question. Many questions on the reading section may be right according to the passage, but are not answering the question. So you have to get rid of that too. And the last one is beyond the information. If you see that many choices in the TOEFL reading section has more information, a lot of details, so it's likely to be a wrong question, so you have to get rid of that too. Now, keeping that in mind, we move to the basic approach. With that approach, with that strategy, what we will do is that we will try to find out or try to crack some questions, most of the questions in the TOEFL reading section. And the first approach and the first step is actively read the passage. I don't know how many of you have heard about active reading. Active reading, when you read a passage actively, what you have to do is to look for three general aspects, which are the purpose, the structure, and the main idea. The purpose is why the person is writing about that topic. And the purpose may be, for example, to explain, resolve, or convince. Those are the three major purposes that we find in the passage of the TOEFL reading section. And what about the structure? Well, the structure is the organization or layout of the passage. And in the TOEFL reading section, the passages follow a specific standard, which includes introduction, body paragraph, and conclusion. I know that many of you may be familiarized with that. And what about the main idea? Well, the main idea is the central message of the passage, or the central point. This is very important for you to remember. How are we going to get the main idea? Well, you have to do first is to read each first sentence of each paragraph. It means that if we have 7 paragraphs, you have to read the first sentence of each paragraph. But in the conclusion sentence, you need to read the first and the last one, because in most of the cases, the author implies or gives his personal opinion in the conclusion, in the final sentence of the conclusion paragraph. So that's it. With that, you will be able to have the main idea. Now the second step is attack the question. And I won't give a lot of detail about this because my classmates are going to explain you it more precisely. So let's move to the last one step approach or step. And this includes step number 3 and step number 4, which is find the answer in the passage and use P or E. There is a general system for finding the answer in the passage. And pay attention to this because it is very important for you to know. And the first thing you have to do when you are looking for the answer in the passage is that you have to read and rephrase the question. As you may see, as you may notice, that in many the questions of the TOEFL are not written in a straightforward manner. So what you have to do is to ask the question for yourself. And the second is go back to the passage and find the answer. What you have to do is go to the passage and try to look for the answer. And the third step is answer in your own words. When you have gotten the information, you have to answer in your own words in order for you to understand better. And the last one, you go again to the drill of the question and you have to use POE in order to understand, in order to answer the question better. So now we're going to examine each question type separately, so that's my partner going to continue.